Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dropsilver0, and guys, I figured I'd go back to an old series of mine. I figured I'd go into the commentary series again, because it's great just to sit down with your viewers and have a chat. Also, it would let me be better at working the microphone. Well, if you want to call this a microphone, it's more just like two earbuds. And oh god, I'm stuck. Anyways, some of these stories do get a little wound up, and some of these stories are gonna be really great, and that's gonna be the theme of today's video. I'm gonna be telling you some of my greatest pro wrestling stories that have ever happened. Yeah, so these three stories, all of which are great, and I cannot wait to tell you them. They're so funny. A lot of stuff has happened, and these are gonna be my pro wrestling stories. None of which I believe happened to me, just I was there to watch. And oh god, they are great. I'm sorry I'm like marking out over these saves I'm doing. They're like super unrealistic. Oh Jesus. Anyways, yeah. We're gonna get straight on with the first story. So this is the story of how my friend got beaten up by a black person for screaming the N-word. Right, so we were at a rest stop in New York because, we're tired, we're hurt, and, well, no, we're not necessarily hurting. I believe this was before the event, and we're getting ready to work the show, right? So we go to, like, a rest stop just to rest off because it was a long drive there, and it's going to be a long drive back, so, might as well take a little bit of a rest. And we do that, and he gets out of the car. And my one friend, we'll call him Don. I'm not gonna name drop actual name here. He said, "Oh, you effing N-word," and this one black person who was just not having it like at all came over to him and he said, "Yo, what did you just say?" He's like, "Oh God, sir, I'm really sorry. I did not mean to say that." And he's like, "No, no, 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 I heard you. What did you just say?" And like, he's not having it. It must have been a really bad day because he was like, "You know what? Square up. Square the F up. We're gonna fight right now." And like, he's cursing this guy out. I'm sitting here with my one friend. We'll call him Bill. We're like, "Oh my God, is this about to happen right now?" And he's like, "Dude, no need to do it. Like, it was an accident." And then he turns around and then he just gets like, ooh, he gets sucker punched in the back of the head, and like, this dude's just speeding on him, and my friend Bill goes over to pull him off, like he was about, and he does, and the other guy was about to fight him too. No clue who it was, but there was a giant fight, both guys going at it, like, oh man, my friend Don, he got like a good 3 hook in there. It was really great to watch. It was, oh god, okay, I'm sorry. It was really fun to see, and yeah, no, that was a fun moment. Another story I have, which took place in like the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania. We like developed this new gimmick for this guy, and it was such a stupid gimmick. Like, the whole thing was he'd do voodoo, and like, it was a comedical thing. And we didn't expect him to work it. Like, nobody expected him to work it besides, like, the commentator. Not even the guy that was running the show, because the commentator had the theme song ready. Like, he was the one doing music and everything. It's a little bit weird of a setup, but it happened. But anyways, yeah, so we're getting ready for our next entrant. And, it was a randomized order. And the guy said, "Hey, put me in there twice. I have something I'm going to work." We were like, "Alright, sure." Well, they were like, "Okay, sure." I was just with them. And he didn't tell us. And so he comes out. And the song he comes out to is Spooky Scary Skeletons. And all you hear that is coming down. And then you just see this really fat guy walk out in a mask with like a skull face on it and like this really bad singlet. And he's sitting there, he's like dancing to Spooky Scary Skeletons, like, and he gets in the ring and he starts doing voodoo. And he's sitting there doing all this weird voodoo stuff, like, I'm sitting there in the back watching it, like, what is this? What is going on? And then the guy running the show is flipping out. He's like, what's going on? What is this? Ah! He's sitting there. He's like having a mental breakdown about this. Like, I didn't think the gimmick affected him that much. And oh man, it was horrible. He like got eliminated really quickly though. And when he got into the back, oh, it got heated. It didn't lead into another fist fight like I saw first time. But, you know, it got really, really heated. But it was all fun and games. And he eventually calmed down and understood it was a joke. And, like, oh, it was funny. It was really funny. It was one of those you had to be there things for it. But at the same time, I feel like it's funny when you just tell it in a story. So, yeah, that's that. And, okay, I should have put that in reverse. Anyways, for the third story, this one time, I got a whole car, like, who was just somehow full of a bunch of wrestling marks. I don't even know how he did this. Wrestling marks, by the way, is people who claim to know the business, like the inside terminology and all that. And it's just someone who really loves wrestling. But they got a whole car to do a shoot about this one guy and his gimmick. Now, the gimmick is like the character you play, and a shoot, for some of the people that don't know, a shoot is just like, in some like, if you ever seen Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, like, those are promos, but, well, those are shoots. Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, those are shoots, pretty much. But anyways, oh man, oh, I tried. Anyways, yeah, this car, like, we're just like, it was me and some of my friends. We were going out to this place around Maryland, and we're sitting there, we're like, hey, you guys like wrestling? And we figured since the one guy was wearing a Finn Balor shirt, I believe, like, he was like, yeah, and then like everyone was like, yeah, no, we actually love wrestling, like, we're giant wrestling fans. We're like, oh, cool, alright, well, we're professional wrestlers, yada yada, and we want you to do a shoot. And they knew what a shoot was. Like, they just knew. They're like, shoot, who are we shooting on? I'm like, oh, alright, cool. So it's this guy with this Ted DiBiase ripoff of a gimmick, but somehow he does pretty good at it. I don't like the guy personally. We had a falling out. We're not on the best of terms. He's a really bad guy in my opinion, but that's just me. But anyways, this family, they do a shoot. And like, we show them a couple matches, right? And a couple of the promos. They were like, alright, so the promos are decent, but the guy can't wrestle. And he's a really bad wrestler. Like, when I say he's really bad, I mean he is really bad. Like, I've not seen that bad of a wrestler. Entertainment-wise, you know, I've understood, but wrestling, oh god, they're bad. Yeah, anyways, so this family goes up on how much of a mark, if you remember the term mark, of which I said earlier, of how much of a mark this guy is for Ted DiBiase. Now, if you don't know who Ted DiBiase is, and I didn't explain it earlier when I mentioned his name, Ted DiBiase is this guy who had this really bad, well, not a really bad, but this really cheesy 1980s money gimmick. And, you know, makes sense. He's from the 80s, so of course he's gonna have a money gimmick. But this guy, he worked a money gimmick, and it was not okay. Not okay at all. Like, I'm not gonna say he stole the gimmick, but he did heavily influence himself. Like, he didn't walk out in suits or anything, but, like, he had wrestling trunks with Benjamin Franklin's face on them, like, and, oh god, it was bad. So this whole car is doing a shoot on him, like, saying how much of a mark he is for Ted DiBiase, and, like, I don't know, they name dropped his son, not the wrestler's son, but Ted DiBiase's son, and he was like, oh, I bet Ted DiBiase Jr. wasn't as much of a mark for his dad as this kid is. And, like, you know, we're all sitting there, we're like, oh man, they just roasted this guy, and we're all popping means like cheering, like, we're like, yay. And we're like going on about this roast, and it was really funny, probably the best roast I've seen of a wrestler in a while. Now, I get you guys might not find these stories funny, but you know what, I do, and I will admit, so will some of my wrestling fans, but they're really funny if you get all the insider terms and everything. But yeah, no, those are just some of the stories I felt like I had to share with you. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what is your best wrestling story? I mean, if you've ever just been to like a wrestling event ever, or any event ever really, like WWE, Monster Jam, or whatever, let me know the best thing that had happened in the comments below. And I might talk about it in a video one day, who knows. But anyways, if you guys like this video, please leave a like on it, and if you really like it, go ahead and subscribe. Guys, we're doing really strong on 1,000 right now, and I cannot thank you enough for it. And yeah, I will see you all guys in the next video. Peace. But after this saddle, hey. Alright guys, peace.